Good morning, YouTube friends and family. It's been a while since I've actually cut a video. I wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I want to wish you the very best of days. Now, as for why I've been away, it has to do not with my illness, but with my wife's illness. Those that have followed my channel for any time, you know that I am a caregiver. My wife's condition got so bad in 2018 that I retired early. I went ahead and left. I was going to work until about this time when I would have been 67. Then I would have been able to draw on my full Social Security benefits. So it just made sense to do that. But unfortunately, God has different plans for us. So my wife got real sick. I really didn't want to try to find someone to stay home and take care of her. Besides, that's rather expensive. The bank that I worked for was very, very generous. They let me work from home for about 6 months. But by the end of July, her condition was so bad that I was spending all of my time taking care of her. I really couldn't work or couldn't concentrate on work. So I retired. And within 30 days of retiring, she ended up in the University of she ended up in the Vanderbilt University Hospital, and I nearly lost her. When I took her down there, we took her down to have a heart cath done, and when they got in, they quickly realized that there was way more of an issue than what they thought. It's congestive heart failure, so she's always in right side heart failure, but at that time she was in left side heart failure as well. They put her in the intensive care ward, and believe it or not, they pulled 35 pounds of fluid off of her in just a little over a week. So we got back home about the 1st of February. So things were better. We had some really good days. We were able to get out and travel just locally, nothing long distance because of her condition. But her condition has worsened again, and we have good days and we have bad days. So we're not wanting anyone's sympathy or pity. We just want you to pray. And the one thing I am going to say, because we're quite sure this is all stemming from her smoking as a young lady, if you smoke or if you vape, please find something else to do. You don't realize how bad that's going to hurt you. And unfortunately, it's not the thing to be doing. All right, now I'm going to quit harping on people, and I'm going to get back to telling you what we're doing. But I do hope to have a spring seed giveaway, and I'm probably going to start it a little earlier so that people have their seeds well in advance. I've already ordered the seeds. The seeds are here. So, and I'll tell more about that in an upcoming video. But I thought this morning I would, while I had you on here, go ahead and give you an update on what's going on with growing a little bit of our produce for the winter. And I do mean a very little bit. I don't know that you could say we're actually growing food, but hey, we're going to try what we can do. So let me show you now what we're doing here. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of an update here on our tomatoes. And yes, I am growing the tomatoes under full spectrum grow lights. But as you can see, this plant is absolutely covered, and I do mean covered, in blooms. But not only do I have blooms, wasn't easy trying to get this thing around here where you could see all these blooms. But not only do I have blooms, but I have little cherry tomatoes sitting. The first bloom was very, very small. There was only 3 little cherry tomato blooms on that. That certainly has changed as the tomato has grown. There's more and more blooms on it. And this tomato plant right now is absolutely covered And I do mean covered in blooms. And yes, I've been going in there and pruning off some of the limbs to the lower. It may eventually just be a great big stalk with a bunch of little cherry tomatoes hanging on it, but that'll be fine. The primary reason these tomatoes are doing so well is I'm using full spectrum LED grow lights. The LED grow lights don't pull a lot of power, not near what an old-fashioned incandescent type light would, but they're just doing fabulous under these. The tomatoes were doing so well that I decided to try a couple of cucumbers, and I pulled out 2. I started 4, and it's really hard for me. I mean, anybody that knows me knows how hard it is for me to pull out a growing plant, but this pot is just a little too small to raise 4 cucumber plants in, and they will be tied and let run up this jute cord that I just tied these little knots in it so that I could tie the plants on. And as you see, here's what I'm referring to. I know I said I was going to take and preserve all of this basil, but those leaves that were looking kind of bad, most of them fell off, and I continued to water the pot and to fertilize it, and this thing's just gone wild. And I certainly have enjoyed cooking with this fresh basil, so I'm probably not going to kill it. The final tomato is right here, and as you can see, this one is one of the little Braveheart tomatoes. They're not as big as they would be in the garden, but here again, this thing is just full of blooms. So I only see more and more come, and I hate to show you how tacky that looks, but it does look rather tacky. It's just a wire up there with a piece of nylon cord tied between it. And of course the light fixtures that are holding these, I bought those through Amazon, and I will put a link to our web page. Yeah, we did get a web page so that you can get to it to see exactly what we used. If you buy from that web page, it costs no more than if you go directly to Amazon and buy right straight from them. By buying through our little web page, you support us, and it allows us to continue to get in front of other people and keep trying to inspire people. The other thing that I want to make sure you're aware of is I have new seeds in, and these seeds will be used for one of our seed giveaways, a large part of them. Now, I've gotten too many, so I may end up selling a few of them before it's over. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But I will be out making a few more videos. They may not be long videos, but we're definitely going to try to get back into making videos. So we want to once again ask you for your prayers. Things are getting a little easier for us. I'm getting back into more of a flow of being able to go out for short bursts and work in my little garden here at home, and I'll even do some videoing on that. So hope you'll continue to follow us and support us. And again, we would appreciate you purchasing, if you decide to buy grow lights, from our webpage. It actually makes some great Christmas gifts. All right, I'm going to sign off here and say, may you have a very blessed life.